Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I'm here with G. Anthony Joseph, a Hollywood actor and producer. Welcome to the show, G.
This is so exciting. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
It's wonderful to have you here. And I noticed behind you there's a lovely antique map of Trinidad and Tobago in the background. We're going to talk about that
Sure.
and what you do later on in the show. But first of all, I want you to say hello to the world, please.
Hello to the world. How are you? It is a pleasure to be here, and I was just so surprised to get this invitation to be here. It's going to be a blast.
Yes, it is for sure. And I'm going to start off by asking, what is your favorite Caribbean dish?
Well, I mean, who is not going to say roti and doubles? I mean, who's just not going to say that? Look, we grew up on it. My wife makes it. A great friend of mine makes it when we're in LA. And whenever I go back to Trinidad, there are two things that my kids have to stop and get: roti and Mario's pizza. Sorry to say it. As soon as we land in the airport, we can't even go to the hotel yet.
Do you get it from the airport?
No. We drive. Sometimes we actually, because it's so late, sometimes if we can't get a roti or doubles, we have to call Mario's ahead of time and say, look, my kids are in town. I know you're closing, but stay open. We come in.
Okay. So where do you get when you was in Trinidad?
Yeah.
Where do you get your roti from?
A couple of places. One is you have a lot of people at the side of the road in St. James. Two is Dobson's on Maraval Road, right at the end of Maraval Road, and I think it's Arapita Avenue. And I have the addresses and pictures that you told me to get that I'll send to you.
Okay.
And Hott Shoppe. Cannot beat a Hott Shoppe roti. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that place has been mentioned before, Hott Shoppe. And it's amazing when you see like a few places that have been mentioned a couple times at least.
Yes.
Then you know that there's good food there.
And you know what it is about Hott Shoppe? They're very consistent. They're very, so, I mean, that's been there since, oh my gosh, 80s, 90s. And it just is very consistent. No, I don't know whatever changes they might go through in their kitchen behind the scenes, but whatever it is, it seems that they set a tone from the beginning and they weren't going to veer from that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you ever tried to cook like a roti before?
Of course, my wife makes it. My daughter, she works in Orange County. And every now and then she comes home. And if her mother doesn't get the text in time, she will text me, Dad, home, tell mom, roti or bacon shark. And fast, roti being made in the kitchen with the tower and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, shrimp, potato, chicken, whatever she wants. I mean, pumpkin.
But what about you? Can you make a roti?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't even know the first thing about it. But I watch my wife do it a lot.
Yeah, I have to cheat. I have to buy the roti skins, and I can't even get the inside correct. It's something of a mess, but I still enjoy it though. It's mine.
That's so funny.
So when was the last time you was in Trinidad?
Right before COVID happened. Yeah, so I want to say the end of the year before that.
Right, 2019.
Yeah. And we had plans to do a couple more productions there, and that just kind of, it just came to a grinding halt, But I think COVID affected, everybody around the world. So yeah.
How are things by you now? Is it calmed down a lot?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they loosened up a lot. Hollywood is back to, so a lot of times during COVID, they switched to this online auditioning, which I just didn't like, because you have to tape it and then you have to send it in. it's fine, but I like that feeling of walking into a room and you only got one chance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That competitive feeling. So there a couple of weeks ago, I was back having my first 2 live auditions where I had to drive to Hollywood and do them, and I love that. Yeah.
Okay. I heard of a few comedians saying a similar sort of thing when they had to perform online. They said without the audience being there, it was totally alien to them.
Yes, and it's okay. So a lot of times, if we're on set and we land the role, we know that sometimes if it looks like you're talking to an audience, you're not. That they're intercutting it afterwards. But it's the fact that even if you're on set and you have all these people behind the scenes there, there's still something to relate to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're in the USA, where do you get your roti and doubles from? Or is it the kitchen?
Well, it used to be. That's a very good question, English. That's a very good question because the place I used to go to, let me put it this way. It was called the Caribbean Treehouse. And it was, as soon as you land at LAX at the airport, it was in the Inglewood area, not far, 10, 15 minutes. And it was so beautiful because when you went there was a tree and the shop was built around the tree. So the tree grew through the ceiling, So it's called a Caribbean Treehouse. And years ago, they closed.
Oh.
And so that there have been other places springing up. My daughter tries them, but I just don't have the time to run around, go here, try this one. So if she finds something that she thinks is just as good, she will let me know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What about doubles? Is doubles the thing over there?
Doubles and roti.
Oh.
Yeah, doubles and roti. Yeah. I mean, my wife makes both, and when my daughter goes out, she gets them. She tends to be able to ask for both. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so normally when you go for a doubles, it would be you get a doubles and a roti from the same place.
Yes, usually they would have in the same place. Yeah, and they usually a lot like Trinidad, where everything's laid out, and you have your besides doubles and rotis, you have your pigeon peas and rice, and all that different kinds of stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So what is your favorite type of roti? Is it chicken? Is it duck?
I don't eat meat. I do eat occasional fish and shrimp. So definitely a shrimp roti. And if I'm ordering before I go, I will say extra shrimp, please, and pepper. Gotta have pepper.
Wow.
Definitely. But it's interesting you ask because I know there are 2 types of the skin, right? So there's the sada. Am I right? Am I pronouncing that? Which is,
from what I understand, I hear there's sada.
Yeah.
Dalpuri.
Dalpuri. Yes.
Right. I've heard of paratha, and there's one called dosi.
Yes. So the paratha is, of course, the thing that you bust up shot, you break up, and it's a little different in texture. Love that. To say I could choose between sada or the split piece,
right.
That's a tough call. Sometimes the sada is a little too thick, too flowery, but then sometimes the other part with the split peas one is a little too thin and it falls apart. So it has to be the right balance,
Right.
Yeah.
So apart from roti and doubles,
yes.
What other Caribbean dishes do you like?
Okay, so because of the way I eat normally, Trinidad to me, if people really look around, has some of the healthiest food because I really look for unprocessed food. So I'm talking Edo's cassava, dasheen, sweet potato, anything that is not in a can or it's not processed in a package, and right. So the only place when I'm in a rush, when my wife and we don't have time to cook ourselves and we're out on business, that I would stop for something like that is El Pecos.
El Pecos.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I have a nice picture of that to send you to of the restaurant outside, but it's in Woodbrook, and I forgot the corner street, but everything is on the information I have to send you. But it's right in Woodbrook on Arapita Avenue itself.
Sounded a little Mexican.
Ria, would it be a little Mexican? You think, honey?
Pecos?
El Pecos, yeah.
Pecos? No, Pecos is not Mexican.
Yeah, no, none at all. None at all. Yeah, only all Creole, my wife said Creole Trinidad food spread out. So when you walk into the place, right, and you're in the lobby kind of, it's a line that circles around like this, and then it has the whole list of the foods are laid out. So you pick up your plate and you pay depending on what you get.
Right.
Yes, fantastic place. Fantastic place.
Yeah, I'd love to do a little bit of research on that. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, you're right there, man. You're right there. You should be there now. You should be there now talking to me doing this interview from there.
And what about in America? When you want some things aside from roti and doubles?
Thai food.
Oh, okay. I was talking about Caribbean. So
Cuban. Yes, there's a Cuban restaurant. Gosh, I forgot the name of it. There's a Cuban restaurant in LA on Venice Boulevard. And they have a couple chains around. Oh, mwah. One of the very few places you can walk into and get rice and beans and plantain, sweet plantain, and and the atmosphere is just like Trinidad, right? But I'll try to remember the name before we.
Yeah, you can send that to me for sure. But how does the food differ? Do you think, in your opinion?
Cuba, it's not that much different, I think they use the same seasonings, but the sauces of their dishes is different. You know what I mean? So it's not Creole Trinidad. So if somebody gave me a blind test and put two of them in front of me, I'll be able to tell this one is Cuban and this one is Trini, but very similar in terms of the food itself selections they offer.
Okay, so they'd have things like mac and cheese, pilau, as you say, plantain, provisions, and all that kind of stuff.
Right. I don't think they'll have pilau and stuff like that, but they will have they'll have the rice, they'll have the macaroni, but the sauces and the way that they prepare their dishes are a little different, and they have a certain smell. There's a certain smell when you walk into, like when you walk into a roti place. This is a roti place.
Right. There's
a certain smell that it has in these Cuban places, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'd love to get someone from Cuba on the show one day. Hopefully,
that would be quite interesting.
Yeah,
that would be quite interesting. But I'll send you. I didn't have that on my list, but I'll send you. I'll get the name of it and send it to you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, if you was talking to a tourist and they wanted to go to Trinidad,
yes, for
a short vacation,
yes,
where would you recommend them to go to do some fun or interesting things?
Well, I mean, where do we all go when we get to Trinidad? Maracas Beach, right? But here's the interesting thing I noticed as I got older. So if you go to all the other islands around the Caribbean, speedboat and speed this and jet skis and right? But when you go to Maracas and you see... and you look around and you realize the fun is all a wee liming. Right? That is something quite interesting. Yes. We don't have speed and this and you're going, okay, well, where's everything? Well, this is everything. We are everything. You know what I mean? So they kind of have to kind of set their mentality that when they come to Trinidad, the fun is us. The fun is not things. You like that?
I love that. Yeah.
Right?
It's true. When you go to Maracas,
yeah,
no water sports.
Yeah. We put out the thing and we put out the coolers and everybody bring their drinks that they want and their carib and whatever else, and you have your bacon shack, right? And the fun is in, and even though the lines are long in the bacon shack, because the fun is us, we don't even notice the line long because we have so much to catch up on and talk about, right? But If they want to get the kind of the jet ski kind of feel, then let them go Pigeon Point, Tobago by themselves. You know what I mean? And take the no, but I gotta say, they go to Tobago, they definitely want to take the glass bottom boats.
Yeah, nylon pool. Yeah.
They gotta experience that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That is amazing. And
Yeah.
what about a Trini coming to America? Where would you recommend them to go over? Well, you're in Hollywood side, so where would you recommend them to go on that side of the world?
Well, it depends on what they want. So if they want more of the city hustle bustle type of thing, Chicago, New York, right? It depends on what they want. If they want, I picked California because a lot of actors go to New York for theater and then eventually they get onto film. When they want to get on the film, they come out here. But even though I wanted to focus on film, I came here a couple of times before I left Trinidad. And to me, California was a big Trinidad. It had that vibe, feeling to it. You know, it was, even where we live now and you go outside, it reminds me of when I was a child growing up in San Diego Park with dad and mom, porch open, everybody outside riding their bike. And you know what I mean? That feeling is what I like about California. So it depends on what they want. And remember, if they come to California, it's very touristy. So you have all the Hollywood studio tours that take them around to show them how inside of Hollywood works with different shows. I mean, you have so much, but in New York, you have more of the Broadway type theater shows. So it depends. It depends on what they want. And then you have Miami and Florida, which is another big Trinidad, right? But if you're going to Miami and Florida, you're going there, it's like not leaving home. It's so, you know what I mean? It's so much, right? Like Trinidad too.
And the weather as well. You've got lovely weather where you are too, yeah?
Yes. And let me tell you something. And when summertime starts to hit, it gets cool in the winter, 50s, 60s. That's cool for us, right? Everybody in the East Coast saying that's summer for them, right? But let me tell you, when summer starts to hit like now, and it's between 95 and 110 and 15 degrees outside, that's when I go outside. I love that heat.
Yeah.
That's when I go and ride and work out. And I close the garage. So when I come back, it's like a steaming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So in your opinion, what is the national dish of the USA?
Wow. That's a great question. Ria? What is the national dish of America? If there is such a thing, like how Trinidad is roti and
pizza and hamburger and fries.
Oh wow.
Toss between them.
Pizza, hamburger, and fries.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Yeah. That's a really simple way to break it down. Yeah.
So out of curiosity, like I think you already said what the national dish of Trinidad is there, but let's say that.
So yeah, of course. So the roti and the doubles and bus up shot and bacon shark is a close second, eh? Right? Bacon shot, aloo pie, those are close seconds. Let's not forget those.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a few questions. I think I've got the answer to one of them already. Sure. Pepper, none, medium, none, slight, medium, or pepper.
Listen to me. I want you to listen to me carefully. I have a special pepper called scorpion pepper sauce. It is considered one of the hottest peppers in the world, and it's from Trinidad. And I have that. Now, those stores don't have that. Because if you put a couple drops of that on anybody roti, that they can't even eat it. But that is me. Right?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people don't know this about pepper, but the hotter, the better for your body. Yeah, it's very, very healthy. Very healthy. So the hottest pepper you could get, the better. But then you want to taste the food too. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of find that balance.
So just out of curiosity, what are the actual benefits of pepper?
Well, what it does is that it speeds up your entire metabolism. That's why you start sweating without doing anything. You just sit in there, right? And it actually goes into your internal organs and it acts like a washing machine. You know what I mean? One of the best holistic doctors I know in Trinidad. It's one of the biggest things he has when he has people mix there's a certain drink that he has them mix. And one of the things he has in this is cayenne pepper.
So the drink is hot.
Yes. It depends on how you want it, but it's supposed to be hot. Yeah, man. Woo!
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, would you do that show? You sound like a contender for that show, Hot Wings.
I think it was my son that showed me that. Is that the one with the pepper where they all sit down? Yes.
And it gets hotter and hotter and hotter.
Boy, that is a show, is it? Is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so pepper in the cupboard or the fridge?
Pepper in the cupboard.
Okay.
Yeah, pepper don't really go bad, and I think I could be wrong, but to me it's such a live organism type of thing. I think it continues to grow and develop once you leave it outside. I could be wrong, but it feels like that, you know? Like how sometimes you eat a roti and you wrap it up and you put it away in the fridge and you come back for it and then you warm it up. This thing tasting better.
And what about tomato sauce or tomato ketchup? Cupboard or fridge?
Oh gosh, cupboard or fridge? Fridge. And let me tell you something. While we're in ketchup, I think Mario's have the best ketchup in the world. I don't know what they put in that ketchup in those little squeeze things.
Uh-huh.
When one of their pizzas come out and you put that oh my god, with pineapple, woo!
Right.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since we're talking about Mario's,
Yes.
pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Oh yes. I cannot have a pizza without pineapple.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to an American guy the other day, and he was saying that pineapple on pizza isn't a big thing in America.
You see, it depends on where he is, because in California it is. You know, yeah, in California it's on the menu. You know, so it kind of maybe depends on what part of America he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit? I would have to, wow. Nobody has ever asked me that. You know why? Because I don't ever think of it in terms of taste, but in terms of low glycemic index.
Oh.
So, because I eat more for health than for taste, but if I was to go by Ria? If I was to go by taste.
You're calling a friend for your favorite fruit. You're calling your wife for your favorite fruit.
I love strawberries. Let me call them out, and then maybe it'll come to me. I love strawberries. I love cantaloupes. I love occasional banana. Mango! Julie mango.
Right. Okay. I was wondering, because when you said strawberries, I thought, okay, that's a typically international. I was wondering if you was going to say mango.
Julie mango.
Right, Julie mango.
In my head, pineapple, then mango. Oh my God. You know, you're in Trinidad and you arrive and somebody bring a bag of Julie's and you sit down over the sink with the knife. Oh my goodness me. Woo! Yeah, I don't think it was a good idea to do this show, you know. I don't think so.
Your favorite vegetable?
All. Boy, you put a vegetable in front of me and I will anything green and look like vegetables. So cabbage, well, tomatoes are fruit, but I love tomatoes. Cabbage, tomatoes, broccoli, cauliflower. I love, what's the long string bean they put in roti and Hott Shoppe?
Bodi.
I think they call it string beans. Bodi.
Okay.
Bodi, yeah, you know, yeah, anything named vegetable, I will lick that up in a minute. Okay. Yeah.
And what about favorite drink?
Favorite drink in Trinidad, or just favorite drink overall?
Yeah, favorite drink.
Nah, you don't want to know my favorite drink. Because everybody will say he's not a Trini. Listen to this drink. This drink is cabbage, beets, extra spicy ginger, lemon, cauliflower mixed up in a green, and it right, kale, broccoli, and then just mixed up in one. And that's what I have. That's what I have usually every day. If I had to find a favorite junk drink, it would have to be a Malta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah. It will have to be a Malta, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So how does that drink? Because obviously you drink it for the health benefits.
Yes.
But what does it taste like?
It depends on. You see, I don't usually go for taste. I go for health.
Right.
Some people, what you can put in it, to make it more palatable, you can put pineapple, you can put orange, you could put banana, some kind of sweetener that will. But to me, it's just somebody who tasted it once said, "Gee, why you just don't go outside and drink the lawn grass?"
It just looks green. No matter what you put on it, it's just green.
Yeah.
Right. So are you like when you're eating a roti or oxtail or sorry, not oxtail.
Yeah,
but,
that's all right.
When you're eating roti or something like that, are you a messy eater?
No. Would I? Nah. I am one of those. I cut it in four. I cut it in four like this. Because even when I eat in what I consider junk, right? I don't eat till I'm full. So I'll cut it in four and I'll eat maybe two and put away the rest for later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed, and I've tried to stop this as well. I remember when I was younger, when I eat, my belly had to be full. But now I've conditioned to myself to like cut back because it doesn't really have to be like that.
No, and you have to realize that a lot of I know the show is not about health, but a lot of folks don't realize that your brain registers that you're full 15 to 20 minutes after you eat. So if you sit down, eat, thinking, oh God, I'm not full yet, and then 15, 20 minutes later, you feel like you can't even move. If you just eat a little bit and wait, you'll see, you'll be full.
Right. Okay.
You know? Yeah.
So, Paylau.
Yes.
Do you like it dry or wet, sappy?
In the middle.
Right.
In the middle. Ria makes that every now and then with brown rice. And put shrimp in it and all this stuff, people put in it. She has the right texture. It's just a balance between that mushy and that grainy type of feeling. Oh my gosh. As I was saying that now, she haven't made that in a while. I think I'm going to check. I got to check when we've done here.
Cool. All right. So now this is a part of the show where we chat about you, G. I mean, what you do. You're a Hollywood actor. You're in the midst of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people watching this show just from the advice that you're going to give.
Sure.
But please tell us, because I know you've been in a couple big films like Jag.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're currently in a series now.
Yeah, one pilot series that's going. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and you've appeared with a lot of famous Hollywood actors as well. Yes. So please tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
Well, I mean, you hear a lot of people say it's not easy. It's not easy, but I grew up with in a single family home with my mother, who took us away from Trinidad, me and my two sisters, to Baltimore when we were kids, 9, 10 years old, right? And I watched my mother work 2 jobs from 8 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the evening, and then she went to a night job from 7 until 1 or 2 in the morning, and she did that 5, 6 days a week, man. And this woman never complained. Right, for 6, 7, 8 years, just to give her kids the best and to make something of herself in America, right? Wow. So it's only when I look back now, I think that it wasn't easy, but I wasn't thinking then, God, boy, this struggle, this, right? It's just, this is what I have to do. These are the steps I have to do to try and do my best in Hollywood and be my best and move on from there. So I think that's one of the first attitudes people have to have. If they want to break into this, you gotta stop complaining and whining. This is what I have to do, and this is what I'm going to go do it, right? And the second thing is that you just have to have, to me, there are certain objective laws that rule the world. Like the earth spins around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. No matter what we do or think, we cannot change that, right? And for every subject in the world and for every endeavor, there are certain objective laws that surround it. And your job is to find those laws that this is what I need to do, I know for sure, to be a success in Hollywood, right? So one of the things I knew I had to do was what makes me so special that the world cannot do without it. I had to answer that for myself. What makes me so special that the world cannot do without it? Once I find out what that was, that is going to guide everything I do. Everything I develop about myself, it's going to come from that, right? So I answered that question. And then after that, you got to know right pictures. Who are the right agents to go after? Who are the right photographers? How do I market myself every week? Because remember, you're running your own business, right? Nobody's over you, right? You're in a corner. You have your own desk. You're an actor. If you don't get up and do something, nobody else is doing it. People think, for instance, you get a nice agent and you give them and you can just sit back now. No, right? It's not what my agent can do for you. It's what you could do for your agent, right? To continue to make yourself special so that your agent doesn't have to continue to try and sell you. If you have, here's the last thing I'll say. If you have something special, you would be surprised how things come to you. Things come to you because you have value. You don't have to be chasing something all the time. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that is truly, inspirational. I could see your passion there. And it was really, really intense and powerful. And that's what a lot of people really need is that kind of drive.
Yes.
It doesn't matter sometimes how much talent you have.
Yes.
If you haven't got the drive, talent doesn't mean anything. You need that drive. Yeah.
No, I have seen men. Let me tell you something. When I came to Hollywood in 1987 and I joined a school, I saw so many more talented people than me. People who were even doing big shows then, and they couldn't take it. They couldn't take, after a while, the pressure of it, and they just left or just gave up. I just kept going. I'm like, what are you giving up, right? Because you're right. It's that you gotta have that, and it's gotta be an internal drive. It can't be a drive where you have to be seeing something on the outside all the time to be driving you, because that's not always gonna be there, right?
And some of that drive I could see, of course, comes from a video that I saw on, I believe, your Instagram, where wow, you was giving this boxing ball, what the boxers use to watch, you was giving that thing some licks, some incredible speed as well.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting faster because part of me, to me, what makes me special is I love study. I love to study things. So since I started martial arts at 10 or 11, it's been a goal to how do the muscles work? How does the body work? How does speed work? You study kineology, right? How do the muscles connect so that this moves faster or this? And then you develop that. What kind of strength drills do I need to do to make my hand snap back faster or my leg, right? And then as you get older, you realize more and more, hey, it only takes this and this and this. And you could be improving, man. I'm 61, baby, and I'm still going. Yeah.
And because obviously I'm going to show that video, but as you say, 61 years old, and you're incredibly fit, and that is down, I suppose, to the lifestyle, the eating, and of course the determination, the drive that you've got in you as well.
But look at you. You look like if you stand up that you have abs, man. Look at you, man. Look who's talking.
Oh gosh. I should get back into some fitness. I'm choosing every excuse. But I really should get back into it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, fascinating. So as I say, that map behind you,
Yes.
is fascinating.
Yes.
How old is it?
1800s. It was 1800s. It was printed in a street in London, and the other date says population of Trinidad and Tobago in 1797.
It's in Trinidad.
Right.
When British took over Trinidad, they drew that.
So when the British took over Trinidad, Rhea said they drew that map. Yeah, fascinating. And the way that they broke down the population and how many people they had, just amazing.
Where did you get it from? Trinidad?
No, she ordered it. I don't know what site she ordered it, but she's very specific. You can tell by her wall in the back of how she wants. Everything has to relate to one another. And I know
it's not small. Listen, it's kind of huge as well.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. It's really big. If you look at it compared to the other pictures down there, you'll see that it's huge. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So when are you planning on coming back over?
Well, now that things are loosening up in Trinidad, we've been having meetings, and because I have 2 more things I want to do there. One is Men of Grade 3, and the other one is a TV series that we're working on of a very special person in Trinidad, a very special hero. We can't give out yet what it is, but so hopefully within the next couple of months, we will start making movements there again to get that going again, because we had already started. We actually already shot some stuff before COVID, and then COVID kind of shut down everything,
I saw a picture of you where I think I don't know whether it says an assassin priest or a hitman priest but like that, is that to be shot in Trinidad or the States?
No, that's a pilot series that was shot here. So that's the one I auditioned for.
Right.
And that was a clip I took from the pilot that hasn't been released yet.
Wow.
So I'm they hired me to play a character called Father Hammond, who is a vigilante priest at night. Well, boy, what? That was written for me.
Because you got the moves, partner. You got the moves.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, there you go.
I presume you like playing those kind of action roles.
Well, it's interesting you say that. That's a very good question, because if you notice, my older roles, with the exception of Men of Grade 1 and 2 in Trinidad, when I came back to Hollywood and I actually broke into Hollywood, I purposely did not want that to be known, because I didn't want to become known as a martial arts actor.
Right.
So if you notice, a lot of the roles I had on TV and movies after that had no martial arts. It's only during COVID that I decided, okay, finally, you know what? I think I've established myself as an actor. Let me start putting together some things about here is something else I do. And then all of these things started to come about,
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Tales of a Fifth Grade Robin Hood.
Gosh, I mean, what a show that was! It's on Fox, the Fox Tubi network. It's there. So the Fox Tubi network, of course, is the big branch of 20th Century Fox, and they just opened the Tubi network about a year ago, 2-3 years ago. And this movie was their first original programming. You know how Netflix has original programming, right?
Okay.
So this movie was their first original programming. When I auditioned for this, it was not that particular role that I auditioned for. I auditioned for another character. And when the casting director called and said the producers would like you to consider taking this particular role, and I saw it, I said, absolutely, I am there. Here's the interesting thing about that show, when you watch it. So when I come down the hallway and I approach John Lovitz, as you know, he's a 3-time Emmy nominated actor, just so funny. You can't look at him and have a straight face, right?
He seems like such a funny guy.
My gosh, I mean, just a great guy all around. So when that was written, of course, I have the script weeks before. So I studied the lines. So I had to do a couple smaller scenes 2 days before that day. that you see where I'm shooting with John Lovitz, right? So 15, 20 minutes before that scene, the director comes to me and he says, I want to make this scene a little different tone, you know. And he said, how about if we change up the dialogue? I said, okay. He said, all right. So I thinking it's just a little bit, right? That entire thing, you see me back and forth with Lovitz, and when I read out all those lines, that was all written 50 minutes before that scene started. Right?
You have to be on point.
Woo! He said, what do you think? I said, I got this. Go do your thing. I got this. So I was just, you know, studying and waiting and getting. But, you know, I think it's good sometimes for actors to have that, because you have no time to act. You have no time to act. There's no time to get ready. You better be ready, right? You know. So it's like, here's a cop. He shows up. He's got to arrest John, and this is what he's going to say to him. You know. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, because most of the people break it into just their first role with like a home camera. Probably they've got a cameraman, one lighting person, and maybe one or two actors in a room somewhere.
Right.
The difference from that to going to like a full-blown production Hollywood set, it must be such a difference.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if when I first walked on those big sets, if it was ever intimidating. But you know what? I think, you know, that's a very good point. You've brought some very good points to this conversation, right? Stuff that I never thought of. I like that. I like learning new things. But I think what gave me the confidence that it didn't affect me at all was, you got to remember where I started. I started at 10 years old in martial arts. Then I opened my own school. Then we went to fight in competitions in the 80s in the US, across the US, right? Then I take a whole team with me. Then it's about winning competition, losing, right? So what's the big deal in walking onto a film set with 100 or 70 people? You know what I mean? And I think that translated into that. It's like anybody else now would probably kind of lock up a little bit, right? But I did have my experience locking up. I did. I'll tell you this quick story.
Right.
So I had just come to Hollywood in 1987. If you study Hollywood, you will see that consistent work towards your goal is 3 to 5 years before you start to break in. And in exactly 3 to 5 years, I started to break in and get big auditions. And I got this audition once, big audition for Paramount, I think it was, either Paramount or Universal. They were shooting a TV series up in Canada, and they were looking for the lead role. And I went in to read, and I got a call back. The casting director said, do not change a thing, right? Because usually the first call is just with the casting director. When you get the second call back, the producers are in the room. So I get the second call back. Listen to this story. I get the second call back, and I go to Universal Studios, and I go up the elevator, and you go and you wait outside to this room, and the door opened to this room, and there were like 10 or 15 executives sitting around a desk. And this is my first big audition. I didn't expect that. Well, boy, I felt myself go down in a chair like this. I knew I blew it. But it was like, never again. You know what I mean? Because now I have to kind of visualize, that was my war, right? That was the worst war I've ever been in an audition. So if I can always visualize nothing is going to be worse than that, I'm good. You know?
And I suppose now, like, if I'm going to do anything but in the public, I will get some nerves, you know?
Yeah.
But I've learned with age to like utilize that nervous energy for my benefit, and yeah, that helps a lot.
Absolutely. Plus, I think it helps a lot when I don't give a damn what people think. I am just myself. Right? Take it or leave it. You know, some people love me, some people hate me. Who cares? Doesn't bug me. You know.
Love that. So, how can the people get in touch with you?
Well. It's so interesting because I ignored social media for over 15 years. And it was my kids for like 10 years said, Dad, you got to share your life, man. You got to share your life more, you know? So they're the ones over the last 2 years made me have this Facebook up and this Instagram. So just go over to the Instagram, and sometimes when I have time, I actually answer my private messages. People are like, "Oh, is this you? Did you actually answer me?" But it's the people who those are the people you got to make happy sometimes, right?
They're connecting, they're reaching out, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what life is all about. So Facebook, Instagram, the Instagram handle, as you know, is at G Anthony Joseph. Right. And if you follow me, every now and then, like a lot of people from Trinidad follow me, and a lot of producers, directors, actors. And every now and then they have a question and they'll private message me. And the only thing I say to people is, if I answer you and I don't get back to you right away, don't worry, I will, and they've been very, very good about that. Okay. Yeah.
Have you got any one you want to say hi to, give a shout out to, or anything? Anyone?
To all Trinis, man. I miss home, right? I terribly miss home. It's time to come home and see my wife's family. My father passed away back right during COVID, so I have nobody there, no family there anymore, but my friends are there. My wife's family is there, Louise and Rudy and David and Joel and, everyone. I miss them, and everybody else who follows me that I'm always in touch with. My mom, my sisters,
Excellent. Yeah. And what are you looking forward to eating later on?
Oh, I'm looking forward to getting up, baby, tomorrow morning. What are you talking about?
What are you looking forward to eating?
Today, let me see. That's a very good question. After I work out, as you said that, I don't usually eat bread. Oh. But every now and then I'll have my wife make it's a vegetarian burger called Beyond the Burger.
Oh, right.
And I'll have a bread that's made out of wheat berries. It's like a little hamburger bread, but it's made out of wheat berries. I might have that, I think I might have it.
Okay. Just one last question.
Time. No rush. Do
you like watching the UFC?
No.
Okay. I asked that because that video was intense, and I thought to myself, is this man a fighter?
It's one of the reasons I don't, is because to me, it's not about technique anymore. That's what people get attracted to me for. It's like, wow, I can see these clean techniques, right? It's all about, to me, doing what's necessary to just get the guy in, right? But it's not about these clean techniques. Think about Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali long ago, man, right? If they could perform like that under pressure in a ring for 15 rounds, can you imagine the kind of exact training they would have had to go through to replicate and be able to maintain that composure in a ring? You see what I'm saying? And to me, when we look at the ring in UFC, I'm not seeing techniques anymore. People start and then their hands start going wild, because to me, the training methods are not matching what they're going to be doing when they get into the ring. There are a couple of fighters I like to see that my son will say, hey, Dad, so-and-so is fighting. You want to come watch it? And I'll go.
Name one. Give me one.
It's not. Pick one. There is a guy.
A big guy?
Tall guy, lean guy.
Okay.
Lean. I think he's from Nigeria.
Oh, yes. I know who you're talking about. Stylebender. Yeah. Alexander.
And you're close to trying to keep his techniques clean also before
he's a master, man. He's a master, yeah.
Anderson Silva was also very... Yeah. He was very, you know what I mean? You could tell that he was very technical. You know what I mean?
So you more prefer boxing than UFC?
Well, now, yes, definitely. Because boxing, you get to see the technique at work. People forget when you say martial art and you spell martial, inside that word martial is the word art, M-A-R-T. So I'll leave you in terms of the line with Jim Kelly and how I think about combat, right? So Jim Kelly, of course, gets hired to do Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee hires him to come play this role. And one of the most famous lines he says in that movie, when he knows he's about to fight the bad guy, he says, listen, man, when I die, I'm going to be too busy looking good. And he did die in that scene, but damn, he was looking good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I just really want to thank you for appearing on this show. It was a pleasure having you on here. It really was.
Oh, more than I'm just honored that you considered having me on this show. How did you find me anyway?
Well, we search for interesting people on like Google, Facebook, Instagram. Interesting Caribbean people who I think that one might eat Caribbean food, two might consider appearing as a guest on the show.
Yeah.
And, three, like, you're an actor in Hollywood, so
Yeah.
to me that's interesting.
Right.
Like I interviewed he was an MMA fighter and a boxer, but he's also an aspiring actor and a writer as well.
Got it.
I'm going to send him this link because I think that there's some big advice that
Great.
he could use
Great.
from this, So
Yeah.
I'm just looking for people who I think going to be introducing me to some venues, because I'm telling you, doing this show,
Yes.
I've spoken to people around the world
Mm-hmm.
that Caribbean places are in Australia. I've
Yeah.
spoken to someone from South Africa who hopefully would be on the show. I'm
Yeah.
speaking to currently Chinaman Ya, who are in China, but they're on lockdown at the moment, so they can't do the show as yet.
Right.
But yes, Caribbean food around the world I find fascinating. So I just want to thank you for your.
Well, as just one of the people you should try and get on your show is a guy called Brian Green.
Brian Green.
Brian was one of my martial arts students when I was in Trinidad.
Uh-huh.
When I decided to break off to Hollywood, Brian was the one that actually got me into acting starting in Trinidad. And when we decided to leave, he had left a year before and came back. But I remember us sitting on the sidewalk outside Bernie McBerry's place. I think that's her name, Bernie in Trinidad. What is it, Ria? Beryl McBurney was her name. She ran a little school and a little outlet in Woodbrook. And we were sitting on the sidewalk, and I remember thinking to myself, you know what, Brian, I'm going to Trinidad. And he had already set his sights on Australia to become a huge opera singer. And now travels the biggest stages in the world singing opera. France,
Really?
Australia, and he's 58, 59 now. I'll send you his link. You'll go, what happened? They have another one like you, G?
Yeah, please do send me his link. Yeah.
He would be good to kind of get an outside perspective on France and Australia, because he's always traveling to those cities to perform, and he loved his roti and he loved his food.
Yeah,
Right?
and his story sounds fascinating already.
Yes.
Can I just say, I love your name, G, because I remember like sometimes back in the day, that's what you used to call cool people. Hey, what's up, G? Yo, G, I love it. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. This was a real pleasure, man. I had most fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it myself. Listen, you have a blessed and wonderful day.
All right. And I'll send you that stuff by email. If I missed anything, let me know.
I will do. Thank you.
Mwah! Bye, everybody. Bye.